Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you how I make my breakfast choices chart and what I use it for. So this is what I'm talking about here. This is my breakfast choices chart. I've talked a lot about it on Instagram and how I used it to help make our morning times go smoother. So at the top you can see it says my breakfast choices. So I give my daughter 2 options for her breakfast the night before, and each one includes a main breakfast option plus a side breakfast option. With each choice I give her, I try to make sure that it's both full of protein and has a produce choice somewhere in the meal. So the night before, I add the options here on the top, and then I give her the choice of what she wants for breakfast. So she looks at the chart and then she moves down what she wants for breakfast, like so, and then we hang it on the fridge. In the morning, I tell her, hey, go tell me what's for breakfast today. She runs down, looks at the chart, and then she tells me what's for breakfast. So this is really great because this increases her independence around meals while still giving her structure. This is also super great because it allows me to structure her meals in a way that's really nutrient dense and is filling for her school days, but again, giving her the independence in the morning. Now, we used to kind of struggle with difficult mornings sometimes, and this makes things go more smoothly because it gives her something to do and it allows her to be part of the breakfast time process. This adheres to Ellen Satter's The Division of Responsibility, which states you provide, child decides. So here I'm providing her with the meal options and letting her decide which meal it is, and then she can then decide if she wants to eat that meal and how much of it she wants to eat. But once we move it down here, this is the selection for breakfast and she does not get to change her mind. I'm going to show you how I make this. So I'm going to link the download to the breakfast choices chart in the description below. So make sure you click on that link and download the breakfast choices chart. I use my Scotch thermal laminator plus my clear thermal laminator pages, and then I print out the breakfast choices chart. The one that I have already made, this one, was printed out on cardstock, but I ran out of cardstock, so I'm gonna show you that I can work on regular printer paper too. The breakfast choices background page just gets laminated as is. So while that's running, I next have the actual choices. So I printed out a couple pages to give you guys some examples, but there's several options available to you. So what I would recommend is cutting out the choices that you actually use in your home. You can also use this as a way to give you some breakfast inspo. All laminated and pretty. So I recommend cutting out each individual choice and then sticking it in the laminator sleeve to laminate after, and then recutting that again. And this just makes it a little bit more durable for toddler hands, especially around the kitchen, and make sure the borders are sealed and waterproof. All right, so fill up the sleeve with your breakfast choices. Cut them out. And they'll look like this. Ooh. So how I recommend setting this up: take your breakfast choices and divide them up into main dishes and sides. So for example, in our house, main dishes tend to be things like oatmeals, breads, and cereals and bagels. Sides tend to be things like smoothies, breakfast meats, fruits, and veggies, as well as dairy like yogurt or cheese. Every night before we go upstairs for bed, I give 2 choices on the breakfast chart, and I try to include within each choice a protein and a produce. So for example, her 2 choices today were waffles with peanut butter and a smoothie, as well as oatmeal with blueberries and eggs. So in this first option, her protein was the peanut butter and her produce was the spinach and the blueberries in the purple smoothie. And on this side, her produce was the blueberries in the oatmeal and her protein was in the scrambled eggs. So then I clip the breakfast choices chart on the fridge, call my daughter over, and have her pick out her breakfast for the next day. She takes the choices, moves it off of the top, and sticks it to the bottom. Then in the morning, I tell her to go check what's for breakfast so she can inform me. That gives her independence and lets her be involved in the process. And sometimes I also have her help me cook depending how much time we have in the morning. So if my daughter comes downstairs in the morning and tells me she doesn't want this for breakfast the night before, I always stick with our decision that we made. I let her know, hey, this is what we're having for breakfast and you don't have to eat it, but this is what's on the menu today. And I always make sure to stick with what we have chosen. In addition, when she's chosen what she wants for breakfast, I take these two and put them away so that it doesn't give her the choice to swap or complain about what she could have chosen. Finally, I put away these option cards so that they're not tempting for her to want to ask for something different in the morning. Yeah, but once you've made it, it's pretty simple and it's a really great tool. It's also super cheap. You don't have to laminate it. It just makes it extra toddler proof. And then I do use Velcro dots. So these are what I bought off of Amazon. I'll link them in my Amazon shop. I think they're 15 bucks, but I use a Velcro dot on each option card, so it makes it easy to stick them on and off. But we've been using this for about a month and a half, and it's held up really well. Nothing has broken or ripped. So I highly recommend this. This has made our mornings go a lot more smooth. My husband's totally on board. He loves it. My daughter loves it. And this has given us our mornings back.